The afternoon air was ringing with happy people sounds as our church all came together for our dinner on the grounds. The Spanish moss was a-swaying in the Louisiana breeze, and the smoke of ribs cooked Southern style was wafting through the trees. When my cooking filled their bellies, they gathered round my table to hear the storyteller weave a legend or a fable. But this time I held them spellbound with a tale that's really true of the uninvited stranger at the pastor's barbecue.
We'll pick apart the preacher, then we'll put him on the grill. We'll string him up, then run him down until we've had our fill.
We'll stew him in some misery.
He'll turn on our rotisserie.
We'll baste him with some tangy sauce.
We'll show that fella who's the boss.
We've had it with his meddling, from the pulpit to the pew. So we're gonna have roast preacher at the pastor's barbecue.
How do you like the new preacher?
Someone asked the Deacon Farkle.
Well done.
He answered slyly, with a grin and eyes a-sparkle.
Why, he called my name in the sermon today.
Said Sister Shirley McPhee.
Surely your sins will find you out was pointed right at me.
He makes me feel,
Said Brother Neil.
as if I'd had a beating.
Sister Bertha summed it up with,
Think it's time we had a meeting.
You said it, sister. Amen to that.
So next Monday night, the malcontents met at the church together. A storm was brewing, but they all came regardless of the weather. Sister Turner lit the burner with a searing accusation.
Why, just last week he had the nerve to preach about temptation.
Then the sheep all burned in effigy, he that shepherded their souls, as each one loudly raised their voice to rake him o'er the coals.
Why can't the man just let things be? We've done it this way for a century.
What gives him the right to tell us we're wrong? No, he won't be here very long.
Messing around with our traditions, saying our soul's in poor condition.
When he first applied,
Said Deacon Farkle.
I said we shouldn't hire him. Perhaps you'll finally agree with me now. It's God's will that we fire him.
We'll pick apart the preacher, then we'll put him on the grill. We'll string him up, then run him down until we've had our fill.
We'll butter him up like corn on the cob.
Then skew him with a shish kebab. He's gonna be red, hot, and blue.
By the time that all of us are through,
We've had it with his meddling, from the pulpit to the pew. So we're gonna have roast preacher at the pastor's barbecue.
We blurted our beefs with the pastor, of which there were no lack, at our sneaky little meeting that we called behind his back. When suddenly, with a gust of wind, the doors blew open wide, and Sister Turner gasped out loud as a figure stepped inside. A flash of lightning lit the stranger standing in the door. No one there could say they'd ever seen his like before. He was rugged like a prophet, from his sandals to his hair, and every eye was on him. To greet him none would dare. In the silence he walked to the pulpit, and we watched him as he turned to face our shameful meeting. In his eyes a fire burned. He said,
I've smelled the smoke from a long way off, and that's what brought me round. The very man that builds you up is the one you're burning down.
Then he walked before each person there, and at each one he pointed, as in his face we read the warning.
Touch not mine anointed.
Then he said with such authority that the strongest man there shook.
The fire with which you roast him is the one on which you'll cook.
Then some people fainted, the rest all scattered, as the thunder roared and the windows shattered. Yeah, it's safe to say that on that day we'd felt the chastening rod, for it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of an angry God. When we looked back up, the man was gone. In our ears his words were ringing. The sky had cleared, the rain had ceased. Outside a bird was singing. Nope, we'll never forget when the stranger came to town that Monday night. But when he left, we knew in our hearts that we had been set right. And we got behind our pastor, not to talk but to support. And we really paid attention when our souls he would exhort. Lots of people are so hungry for the blessed bread of life. So don't take away their appetite with bitterness and strife.
Right on!
So cook all you want, but whatever you do, Just don't have a pastor's barbecue.
When you listen to the preacher, don't put him on the grill. Don't string him up, then run him down, or his reputation kill.
If his message steps hard on your toes, ouch! Oh well, that's just the way it goes.
Just eat the meat and toss the bone. Or the goose you cook may be your own.
So let this be a lesson when the tempter comes to you. Just ignore his invitation to the pastor's barbecue.
Damn it.
Just ignore his invitation to the pastor's barbecue.
We had revival then, I guarantee.
Hallelujah. Yes, Lord.